Hey there, YouTube fans. How you going, man? All right, I'm researching 8 different ways to remove sulfites from wine. So, a couple of things. I got a beautiful couple of bottles of wine. It was the best I could find at the time, and the next morning I was nearly dying of sinus attack and headache and pain, and then I had to take an antihistamine. By the way, half a tablet of antihistamine seems to work for me and gives me less side effects. But I was basically slept for a couple of hours and then felt very fatigued for 2 days. So it's really rough on me. Now, um, there are 8 different ways to remove sulfites. I'll go through these quickly. I'll try to put a link to this article, but the recorder is over the icon right now. But anyway, let's go through these. All right. Hydrogen peroxide. So I have tried this with mixed results, frankly. Now, here's the ratio they say. By the way, before I forget, this hydrogen peroxide, which is 3%, I've found it in the chemist in mouthwash, just pure 3% mouthwash. That's very cheap. A bottle of that from a chemist or a pharmacy or drugstore in America. All right, so the standard ratio for this solution is adding 1/4 teaspoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide per 80 milligrams per liter of sulfites in a bottle of wine. It would be best to dilute the hydrogen peroxide first and slowly add it to the wine. Well, make sure that it's 3%. So what that does is it changes the sulfites into sulfates, which doesn't seem to cause a problem for people, but it may not kill the histamines in wine. So just remember that. You may still have a reaction. Okay, Ulo wine purifier, however you pronounce that. All these other solutions, they cost money. They're not cheap. But that's a product. I don't know a lot about it, but that's another product. Sulfite remover drop. So this is very similar to what we have. Pure wine, I think we call it in Australia. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3%. Food grade hydrogen peroxide. I told you. It'd be 3% as well. No difference. Is available in Australia, pretty cheap, but as I said, just go to a chemist. Get a 3% mouthwash and use that. Wine sensitive filter sulfite remover. Not sure about that one very much. I'm going to skip that. The wand, okay. Wine purifier and sulfite remover. So the wand removes histamines and sulfites, but it's not cheap. It's about $16 for about 4, which makes your bottle of wine quite expensive, but it does seem to work. You put the wand in there and stir it for 3 minutes, but it's only for 1 wand per glass of wine, so it can get quite expensive. Now, pure wine, this is a wine aerator, which makes me wonder. I'm going to try an experiment one day. I'm going to get my, what we call a mix master or like a blender thing, and blend up, aerate my wine, and then drink it. See what happens the next day, and see what happens to the flavor. So that might be worth a test. Zortang wine aerator. I think they've some of these companies have changed names. I think that name is still correct though, Zortang. That looked like it was about $40 in Australia, and it aerates the wine. So let's have a look. For a long-term sulfite filter, okay. Zortang wine aerator will fill your needs. It has 2 processes of filtering the wine. The top part has an ultra-dense filter that removes the residue in the wine, okay. This first process creates a smoother texture for the wine. After passing through the filter, the wine will go through the 1-second unique wind eye stirring design with the scientific reason, according to Bernoulli's principle. The faster a fluid moves, the less pressure. As the device stirs the wine, it incorporates, so it's decantering it, basically, the right amount of air and removes the sulfite and tannin in the wine. Well, tannin's very good for you. In return, the process makes the wine more mellow, but look at that, removes the sulfite. That's one of the most economic solutions, frankly. This one here, which is Zertung Wine Aerator. I'll show you a little picture thing again. There it is. Right, he's holding the top of that thing. So about 40 Australian dollars. Don't know what it is in your country. Make your own wine. So I've done that. It's good fun with mixed results again. I do have still a bottle in my cupboard, but it's not as good as the ones you buy, obviously. So I don't put any sulfites in it. But because I've put potassium sorbate in it, which hasn't made me ill, but it continues to ferment because you don't kill off the yeast, and I've had bottles explode. So, and explode all over my ceiling. Thank God I actually got it off. But they have exploded in this warm Queensland weather. So that's one thing to be aware of. But when I had to drink it, it tasted beautiful. It was like red champagne, even though it had exploded. So that's some of the ways. One of my favorites and cheapest is obviously the hydrogen peroxide. We go right back to the front. But here's the problem. It does change the flavor of your beautiful wine when you put those drops in there. I've put like 2 drops to just be on the safe side in a glass of wine, but that's probably overkill. And as I said, it definitely changes the flavor. But I have had mixed results with that. Most of the time it has worked, which reminds me it will probably work on red wine vinegar, balsamic vinegar, those vinegars that have sulfites in them, but don't quote me on that. But it makes logical sense, right? Because what's vinegar basically is a kind of wine, really. So yeah, I hope this helps. My lovely bottles in the fridge are gonna probably get a few drops of hydrogen peroxide so I can try to drink them. Although the second one, I should try that aerating business. Just get like a mixer, like a mix master. I've got the blades in there. I found the blades. I've put it on my drill even because sometimes I can't find the actual machine, so I just use my drill. And I'll aerate some wine. I'll use the plastic part of like a NutriBullet, blender, and I'll give it a shot. See what happens. Worst thing can happen. I'll have a sinus attack, and then I'll have to take half a tablet of antihistamine. If I do that, I'll try to remember to do another video, and I will try to put this link of this article in this video. Hope that helps somebody out there. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Teacher Sal out. God bless.